Hi everyone. I'd just like to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for joining us for our virtual fundraiser. My name is Kat Young, and I'm one of the newest members of the board of directors for Ebony Horsewomen. I first learned about Mrs. Kelly while watching her on CNN Heroes back in 2014. Then last year I had the chance to go to the fall fundraiser in person. I have to say that the passion and enthusiasm that Mrs. Kelly and her staff have for the work that they do is something that was really impressive to me, and I genuinely believe you're going to see and feel that here tonight. This is a long-established program in the greater Hartford community, and it's dedicated to the empowerment of children as well as the well-being of the adults that participate in the programs. To prepare for tonight, I helped out with interviewing alumni who were members of the program in years past. What was so impressive to me was their gratitude and appreciation for all of the experiences they had at the barn learning about horses. So now, I have a favor to ask of you. I hope that you see all of these wonderful things that Mrs. Kelly and her team are doing, and that you will make a donation tonight. Whatever you can give is very valuable because it provides opportunities to those who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford the programming, who wouldn't be able to afford paying the tuition. So please, every penny counts. I hope that you will use the link that is provided to make a safe and secure donation online. Mail in a check. Whatever you contribute will be so meaningful to this community. So again, thanks so much, and we hope you enjoy this program tonight.
Happy Thursday evening. You guys have just joined in. You guys have just tapped in to Ebony Horsewomen, Equestrian and Therapeutic Center, 3rd annual virtual fall fundraiser. Dream bigger dreams. Dream big. That is our theme for tonight. I am your host, Chaz Carroll. I am the supervisor of the Junior Mounted Patrol here at Ebony Horsewomen Equestrian and Therapeutic Center. We thank each of you that are slowly starting to log in, that are starting to tap in. We thank you tonight for joining us for this great event. The things that we have been doing here at Ebony Horsewomen have been growing. They have been surpassing our dreams and the visions that we have here at EHI, and we are grateful. Tonight, we have a lineup and we are ready to get this program started. We are going to start with the introduction of our CEO, the queen, the founder, the mom, the one that is like no other, Miss Patricia E. Kelly, who found this great organization 36 years ago, started with something small, and now we are slowly getting bigger and bigger and bigger and overseeing and also just blowing the thought and the dream that was given to her. So on this night, we are also celebrating her vision, her dream. Mrs. Kelly has been so great to many of us. I myself am an alumni here of EHI. Mrs. Kelly, she has been on CNN. She has been across the world speaking to individuals, speaking to equestrians, speaking to those individuals that are ready about equine therapy and the things that we do here at Ebony Horsewomen Equestrian and Therapeutic Center, 337 Vine Street, Hartford, Connecticut. Now we are going to turn this over to our CEO, the Queen, Miss Patricia E. Kelly.
Thank you for your patience. The internet has its own jokes, and we've had those tonight. Thank you for joining us for our 3rd annual Harvest Horse celebration, our fundraiser. We normally would be coming to you in a different format, but it's COVID, so we have to come to you this way. We are here in our therapeutic building, away from the administrative building, away from the offices here, in the therapeutic building so that we could come to you safely distancing. And we won't be able to wear our masks because we're far enough away from each other that it's safe. So thank you so much, Chaz, for that wonderful, I don't know about the Queen stuff. Thank you for that introduction. And I also bring you greetings from the co-founder and the head of our board of directors, the chairwoman, Attorney Heather Lawson. We thank you so much for your patience in joining us this evening. Well, we're in COVID, as you know, and it has hit a lot of organizations particularly hard, and we are one of those organizations. Even more important than that, it hit our kids pretty hard as well. You know, they came several times a week to interact with their horses, to get the social and emotional supports, and because of COVID, we've had to curtail a lot of that to go virtual, and then some other small periods of time in person. Along with that, all of our programs took a financial hit. So, which is why we're coming to you this evening, asking for your help. As Chaz said, we're an Equestrian and Therapeutic Center. We all have a mission to empower the lives of everyone, particularly youth. We do provide equine-assisted therapy and psychotherapy for adults and veterans. Is absolutely the children. So thank you so much again for your patience. We hope the internet holds steady. Hang in there with us. We have a lot of things to show you, and we hope that you will stay and donate. So we're going to now take it to another area where you will see some videos of some of the things that we do. Thank you, and hang in there. My name is Pat Kelly, and I'm the president, CEO of the Ebony. Talk to you a little bit about equine-assisted therapy, psychotherapy. I think without adding in cultural competency, we would negate the real impact of equine therapy. 36 years ago when we got started, it was clear from a woman's perspective, because we started off as a women's organization, that the horses played an important part in our sanity. We didn't understand the science then. I think the science was just beginning to emerge and having some credibility. The science of equine-assisted therapy, psychotherapy. But we understood that there was something that kept us sane. It was even clearer how horses impact you. Now, I emphasize cultural competency because when we began, it wasn't much credence that was given to the fact that African American and Latino children were now on horses. I remember hearing conversations over and over. What's the sense of having little black kids trot around on horses? Well, it wasn't necessarily the trotting around on horses. It was the impact that they were getting from the horses. Children living in the inner city, particularly African American and Latino children, often face a tremendous amount of trauma. Oftentimes, your inner city has a good deal of crime. You find an extreme amount of poverty, unemployment. In this neighborhood alone, this particular section of Hartford, Connecticut, is that there must be a cultural competency end of it as well. Children of particular ethnic groups, African Americans and Latinos, have cultural cues that if you're not familiar with it, you can misread it. You can misread it to the point where you will break trust between the individual and the therapist while you're trying to get the horse integrated into this therapeutic session. If the cultural competency is not there, it is already a distrustful format. So it's important to understand, not only to have cultural competency, but cultural understanding and humility as well. And this is something that we train all of our therapists on. We're very fortunate right now to have probably the only African American firm in the United States that's certified in equine-assisted therapy. And they employ Black and Brown therapists to work within this community and others as well. Cultural competency in applying any kind of therapeutic approach is critical.
Hi, my name's Shakai. I'm 12 years old and I go to the middle school planning. Today I'm going to be working on grooming Billy. I've been coming here for almost 3 years now, and I started coming here so I can learn how to ride and so I can work with new people. One of my challenges that I had was being able to make it here on time so I can be able to ride and hang out with my friends. Something that I learned here was being able to work with myself, work with other people. It just makes me feel more confident.
My name is LaShawnda Phillips. I'm 12 years old. I go to aerospace and engineering using horses, and it's like a therapeutic lesson sometimes. Sometimes we can just sit and groom them all day because it's not really about riding. It's really about bonding with the horses, and the way you're bonding with them is like to make them, it's like you're feeling how to connect with people. And horses are not just for looking pretty, they're also helping you in your mind, because some people have things that they want to talk about that they don't feel too comfortable talking about. But with the horses, it's therapeutic, so it's like people can share out what they're saying and stuff like that, and they can tell their emotions because they're feeling comfortable where they are. This is a very safe and comfortable place at EHI.
Hi, my name is Aliana Casado. I'm the old captain of the dressage team. I still come here even though I have aged out because it really helps me with my anxiety and the stress. It's a good outlet. I like to connect with the horses. It's like, I don't feel judged at all. It just makes me feel like I'm myself and I can air myself out.
My name's Cassidy. I'm 19. I've been coming here for almost 10 years now. The reason I keep coming is because I love the program. I love working with people, the children. I love feeling like I'm helping other people out the way Miss Kelly and the horses have helped me out. There's a lot of people here, and it's a community like me.
I'm the program director here at the Ebony Horsewomen.
Hi, my name is Chaz Carroll. I'm the facilities manager and junior mounted patrol supervisor here at EHI.
So EHI is, we got a lot going on here.
Whole lot.
We consider this a family atmosphere. Our students come from all over. Our clients that take their equine-assisted therapy come from all over also. We work on the whole.
EHI is a great place that has been in business for over 30 years, serving the urban population of Hartford, Connecticut, especially here in the north end part of Hartford. We instill and try to help people through therapeutic approach and help and heal people. Here at EHI, we continue to do great things, and we appreciate everyone that supports us and continues to keep us thriving through these tough times.
I'm Cassidy. I'm a board member and volunteer here at Ebony Horsewomen for maybe the last 4 or 5 years. I like this place because the kids are phenomenal. They come here, they learn so much about respect. The big old horses are scary, and the kids are challenged by it, and I love watching them get over their fears and build confidence. And it's one of the most polite bunch of kids I've ever met in my life, which is actually the first reason I started coming here. I like horses and animals, but it's a great program, and I'm so glad to be part of it.
Joining in. Sorry for the hold up and sorry for the buildup of us anticipating and waiting, but we have our honoree from our last year's fundraiser, Mr. June Archer himself. He is going to be joining in for a moment, sharing some words, sending some encouragement, sending a pitch to many of you about the things we do here at EHI. Now we're going to turn it over to Mr. Archer.
Thank you for that introduction. I appreciate that introduction, Chaz. Welcome. Good evening, everyone. June Archer here, motivational speaker, author, entrepreneur, television host, and I was the recipient of the Making a Difference Award for 2019 from Miss Pat Kelly and her wonderful staff over at EHI. And I have to tell you, we raised a significant amount of money last year. But as you know, during these times of COVID-19 and everything that's been going on in and around our country, there is a huge need to be able to assist EHI today, moving forward. There's so many great programs, and some of the things that I learned last year were how they feed, what they feed these animals, these beautiful animals, what they're doing with equine therapy. There's so many amazing things that Pat and her staff are doing that I had no idea. And some of you who are Hartford residents who drive by every day to and from work, to and from the store or the mall, to and from home, and you just drive by that little gem called EHI, Ebony Horsewomen. For some of us, we grew up watching them at the West Indian Parade and everything else that they were involved in as these women of color, these Black women. And I'm wearing my shirt. I just got to say, Black women are dope. And for Miss Kelly to have those women on those horses on the streets of Hartford, just let me know that we were something greater. We were something special. These women were something special. And to see it as a young man, just to look up at those horses and those women riding those horses was something special. And having the opportunity for the past 2 years to visit EHI and to touch those horses, walk those horses, feed those horses was an amazing feeling. I was able to bring my children and they were so enamored by what they saw. I can only tell you that if you allow kids to go and experience it, it will change their lives forever. So I'm asking you, on behalf of EHI and myself, June Archer, please, times are tough for all of us. I understand it, but anything from $1 to $5 to $10, $20, $100 would even do, that you can help EHI and support them in their mission with equine therapy, the programs that they have with our young people, that young people could get back to understanding what it feels like to be with an animal and being in touch with and be at one with these animals. It is an amazing feeling. If you haven't had the opportunity to do it, stop by EHI, talk to Miss Kelly, talk to Chaz and the rest of the staff there that are doing amazing things. And without these funds, they won't be able to feed them, keep them warm during the winter. The winter months are coming up. They are fastly approaching. And while we are home, warm in our beds in our homes, these animals need to feel the same love. So I'm asking, listen, I'm telling you, last year, this was amazing to get, but it was even more amazing to know that last year we raised money for a great cause. And most of you that know me, I've been doing this is my 24 years. 24 years raising money for causes that I believe in, AIDS and breast cancer. And I have been behind Miss Kelly. Shoot, I honored her at the inaugural 100 Women of Color Gala and Awards. And she has been doing this for a very long time. And she has been a blessing to us for a very long time. Now it is our turn to be a blessing to her and what she is trying to keep alive in our little city, our little gem that we call Hartford, Connecticut. So I'm asking you, please reach in, write a check, send a donation, stop by, drop $1, $2. Every little bit counts. I promise you, it goes further than you think. And even more importantly than that, when you are a blessing to someone else, you will be blessed. And when you are blessed, you should be a blessing to someone else. So please support what EHI is doing. I promise you, you will change lives. You will be making a difference. Once again, I can't say it anymore. I'm super proud. I know we're having technical difficulties, but just hang on. As you see, Chaz got my whole face covered, so you can't even see me talking. But as long as you can hear me, the link is there, right? Linktree / Ebony Horsewomen Inc. Go there, make a donation. Any denomination is of help. I promise you. I promise you. It goes a long way, further than you even think. Right? We have to keep these animals, these beautiful animals, fed, and we have to keep them warm during these winter months. And we have to help fund some of these programs that Ms. Kelly and staff are putting together. If you go by there, you'll see how important it is. You'll see how well run it is, how clean it is. These are some things that you don't think about, but it takes woman and manpower to make it happen. So once again, I'm asking you. I'm almost like pleading with you. Go by there. Go by there. Don't even take my word for it. Go by there and see for yourself where your money is going and how good you'll feel once you make that donation. Like I said, it doesn't matter. $1, $5, $10, $100. Shoot, if you could get your organization to match your contribution, that would even help. All right. So I'm not going to talk to you too long. I'm not going to talk your ears off. I'm just happy to be a part of this and that Chaz and Miss Kelly allowed me to just speak for a few. I'm just happy to just be a proud recipient last year, but also even more proud that I'm here to talk about EHI and what we could do further to make it happen and to also promote that Black women are dope. They are so dope. So please find it in your heart, make it happen. I'm June Archer for 1128 Entertainment, 100 Women of Color, and the 100 Men of Color Black Tie Gala and Awards, Hot Chocolate Soul, and everything else that you see me do. June Archer Celebration of Life. I like to give back, and we're going to continue to give back, and we're going to continue to pour all these blessings in our community that they could be a blessing to so many other people. So, Chaz, Miss Kelly, I love you. And back to you. I don't want to talk up and take all the time. I know we're getting ready. We're at 8 o'clock. So please make your donation. They're there. They're going to show the link a couple more times. And I appreciate just even have the opportunity to be here. So y'all be blessed. I hope you guys are being safe. We are trending in the right direction. Wear your masks. Wash your hands. And just protect yourselves. All right? God bless y'all. June Archer. Peace.
Hi, my name is Brooks, and I grew up at Ebony Horsewomen. I had a lot of fun there, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about leadership. I learned about problem solving. I learned about horses, and it really opened up my eyes and what I could see so many other people's eyes to the world of horses. Because after, graduating the program and going on to college, you have the ability now to ride horses at your college or your university. You have the ability to compete if you want to. And those are things that you or some of us wouldn't have had the ability to do without Ebony Horsewomen. The leadership skills that you take away from the program, whether, you're the leader of a show team, or you're the captain of the boys unit, the junior minor patrol, or, you're a camp counselor after being a camper for so long, you're going to build leadership skills. You're going to build problem solving skills, things that you can use every single day at work, with your family, with your friends, with your own private projects, so it's a program that keeps on giving well past your graduation, well past adolescence.
And I participated in EHA programs for about 6 years, when I was 6 years old till when I was about 12 or 13 years old. I think for me, just thinking about the impact that EHI has had on me, I think that it really taught me the importance of tenacity and perseverance. You know, riding horses is not easy. It's no easy feat. And there were days when, you know, I fell off and my ego was bruised and my body was bruised. And I think for me, even now, I can hear the counselors in the back of my head saying, you have to get back up on the horse. And while I physically always got back up on the horse, I think I've taken that same approach to my life, where when I'm faced with certain challenges and I falter or I stumble with certain obstacles, I always get back up on the metaphorical horse, because it's not about if you fall, it's all about getting back up again.
So I recently graduated from Wellesley College in May. And I got the job. I'll be working as a community health worker for Charter Oak Health Center.
Oh, right.
And so while I do that, I'm actually going to be applying to some PhD programs. So I'm doing a bunch of applications now, and I'm going to be doing some psych research.
Hi there. Blessings, beautiful people. My name is Emily Walsh, and I was a part of Ebony Horsewomen Incorporated for around 10 years. In my early childhood years to my teen years. And it was a place that cultivated a sense of confidence and a foundation of leadership within me. I was always dreaming while I was there, and it was a wonderful, beautiful place to be exposed to a different culture other than my own. And so I've taken so much from my experience with Ebony Horsewomen Incorporated, and I'm grateful for the contact that I still keep with them. Love you all.
So, like, how did that experience kind of lead you to where you are now, or did it?
I mean, I know in general, Mrs. Kelly and we call her Auntie Heather.
Yes.
Auntie.
Mm-hmm.
And even Dami, too, Dominique.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they always were just like foundational people like that I could go talk to about my life. And they still are. Like, I just talked to Auntie Heather like a month ago on the phone, so. But yeah, I remember, like, you know, like out in high school, they're like getting you ready for college and you want to go like do things. And I remember, like, because I like loved horses so much and just enjoyed being there, I like wanted to go be a horse trainer and like go to school for that. But then the family was like, no, like you can study something, you know, different and whatnot. And I'm like, okay. So I came across science, but you know, I remember always updating them, you know, because they were like my second family at the barn. And so just updating them like, oh, I'm gonna go like study this. And even when I returned on like university breaks and stuff, I would always go to the barn to say hello. So yeah, I was just always able to talk, and they were always very supportive of like whatever I wanted to do.
Well, let me first start by saying I can't take credit, you know, for the idea of incorporating Harriet Tubman. That idea belongs to Mrs. Kelly. When we discussed, you know, doing a mural, one of the first things that came to her mind was I asked her, you know, which is my practice. You know, I asked her, when you think about having a mural, you know, what are some of the things that come to mind? And the first thing that popped in her head was Harriet Tubman, you know. And you know, what I ended up doing was, you know, I thought about what she had said, and I started trying to, you know, just sort of make a connection. And so as I thought about it, you know, it pretty much became an easy story to tell. So one of the things that Harriet Tubman has been quoted as saying is, you know, with every great dream, every great dream begins with a dream. And so when I thought about that quote, to me, you know, all the pieces just started to come together, and I started thinking about what it was that sort of drove, you know, Harriet Tubman to her greatness. Obviously, what Harriet Tubman is noted for, you know, what makes her such an iconic hero in the lives and the minds and the hearts of Black Americans is that, you know, she drove her dream led her to believe it to be possible that she could guide, you know, Black people out of bondage. An insurmountable task by any measure, particularly for, you know, a woman, you know, at that time. And so, you know, her having the courage, you know, to take on such a task, it just, to me, it seemed like a great way to draw, a great opportunity to draw a parallel between the dream that Mrs. Kelly, the work that Mrs. Kelly and, you know, Ebony Horsewomen does. The work that they do is they drive or lead young people out of the bondage of miseducation, poverty, you know, dreams, deferred dreams, and so for me, you know, there was a clear connection between those two, and the leadership that it required for these two women, the leadership and the courage, you know, that it requires for these two women, you know, to take on such a task and, you know, and to do it, you know, with such excellence. I just thought it was a natural connection. I just thought they're kind of kindred spirits, you know. So I didn't want to leave out the importance of the boys. I like to leave little things uncovered. You know, the longer you look at it, typically something else. There's something else to be drawn from the image. As I'm telling stories, I like to tell stories. You know, much of my work, you know, in Washington D.C. metropolitan area, and you know, I've known about, you know, the work that's been done or that is being done at Ebony Horsewomen, you know, for quite some time. And you know, when I was given the opportunity, you know, to come and share my abilities, I guess, with the mission, you know, I just, you know, it just touched my heart. You know, this type of work is mission-driven work is something that inspires me. And, you know, lately I've been doing a lot of work, you know, surrounding, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement and, you know, positive uplifting messages as it relates to COVID. And so, you know, that type of work drives me, and the work that's done at Ebony Horsewomen is, I mean, it touches me so closely. I was a young kid that grew up in urban centers, you know. I know what it's like to be those kids, you know. And so the moment I heard of this story, I was just so inspired, and it's just an honor. It's an honor to have been able to do something for this program and provide a little inspiration, you know, to the people that are able to, you know, to see my murals and see my work and see the story.
This is what tonight is about. We understand that we are living in the middle of a pandemic. We are living in the middle of times that are making things a little difficult for us to do what we do, but we are finding ways to adapt on tonight. We are finding ways to celebrate this great organization here at Ebony Horsewomen Equestrian and Therapeutic Center, 337 Vine Street. 337 Vine Street. We're called Ebony Horsewomen for a reason. Our great CEO, our founder, our co-founder, they have come together to make this great organization of a dream, a small dream, become something big for the urban north end area of Hartford, and not only limited to just Hartford. We serve many different counties. We serve many different cities and towns, and that is what we are about here at Ebony Horsewomen Equestrian and Therapeutic Center. Now, we all know what tonight is about. Tonight is about a fundraiser. Tonight is about showcasing and really breaking down to many of you what we do here at EHI, also explaining to you about what our youth, what our alumni, what individuals have gone through, and what here at Ebony Horsewomen, their time spent here, their time spent with horses, their time just here on the property. The therapeutic approach that we give to each and every individual that walks through our doors. That's what we're here to showcase tonight. Yes, we're here to talk about money and hope that you guys are willing to donate and help us keep our doors open, keep our herd fed. As Mr. Archer said, I am proud of my big brother. He learned a little bit about horses, learned a little bit about what it takes to care and tend to this huge herd that we have right here. Now, what we are about here at Ebony Horsewomen, the kids. Yes, we are a therapeutic center. Yes, we are pushing mental health. Yes, we are trying to get more adults into our doors. Yes, we are looking to bring in more men to receive the services that we offer here. But EHI, it started with children programs that gives opportunities, that gives an outlet, that gives resources to young individuals in the urban area of Hartford, Connecticut. That's our root. That is why we are still here today. Now I'm going to turn you over to our queen, our CEO, Mrs. Kelly, who's going to talk a little bit about our alumni, talk about some of the stories, some of the things and changes that she has seen in these great youth that have been labeled, that have been called all different type of things and said they will never amount to be anything. But her vision, her dream, her plan that she has wrote has become a reality. Now we have Mrs. Kelly.
But we're going to go live now. We're going to come back. We're unable to share the videos because of the internet. And what are we going to do?
We're going to make it work. We here. We're going to make this work.
Now, Chaz is here. Wait a minute. It's orange juice. I promise you. It is orange juice, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. It is orange juice. So we're here to answer any of your questions that you might have. I think we're seeing that.
We do see it.
We see some of that. So we'll answer your questions. Benson is here to say a little something to you too. He's been trying to eat the hay, trying to keep him away from that. You act like we don't feed you.
And Cash wants your hat. Somebody saying Cash wants your hat.
I just got this hat. This is my 2020 hat. Anyway,
we are here. Please ask your questions. We are here to answer. Don't worry about the technical difficulties. We are still going to make it work. We do not care. This is what happens in a pandemic. We just got to make it work.
Oh, we're used to catastrophes. I mean, we're a small nonprofit, so we have catastrophes for lunch. So this is another one.
This is just one of them. But guess what? We are still here. This is y'all entertainment for tonight. Adults, grab a healthy. We get older. You need a healthy. I tried to get Mom to join in on this smoothie tonight.
No, he made it. I'm not drinking that.
What?
I'm not making. No,
Mom, you just taste one sip.
Anyway, Kat, thank you so much for everything that you did to try to put all this together. She's one of our board members, and of course, I know that our chairwoman is looking on.
We have a question for you from Miss Kat Young, one of our
so it
board
says,
members.
Mrs. Kelly, why did you decide to start this organization? Well, it's a long story. So I grew up in the north end of Hartford. And when I went off to the Marine Corps and came back, I wanted to do something that I had done previously as a child, believe it or not. living in the north end of Hartford on Clark Street, not far from here, about 4 blocks from here. We were the second, third Black family on the street. And I lived next door to a Jewish grocer named Mr. Fisher that introduced me to horses. And it was my life. It was my life. And I rode a little bit in the Marine Corps, came home and wanted to do it again. And I started it. Actually, Ebony Horsewomen started as a women's organization. Early 80s, no malls, not a lot to do in the urban center, but we could ride. And so I started riding with a ex-Ebony Horsemen. That was an organization before us, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And sitting on his living room floor, I actually founded, along with Heather Lawson, my daughter, on the Ebony Horsewomen. And we were riding through Keeney Park, you know, wind in the hair, flying. Thank God he loves fools and babies. At that point, we were almost both of them. And these 2 little boys walked up to us and said, "Hey, lady, is that a horse? Is that a real horse?" And I said, "Wow. Yeah, honey, what did you think it was?" And he said, "See, I told you it was a horse." I was like, "Oh my God, I got to do something about this. These kids didn't know this was a horse." Right. And the late John Wardlaw, at that point, was the head of the Hartford Housing Authority. And the first thing that the women wanted to do were to bring the horses to the housing projects. And it took off from there. And I think 1 year later, we turned the organization away from, you know, a women's organization to a child's organization. So that was the main thrust of it, because we knew the kids needed it. The second thing was this gut passion that why can't these kids, my kids, have the same opportunities as kids in the suburbs? Why? Yes, this is very expensive, but we endeavored to bring this experience to the children of Hartford, and particularly the North End, because this is an experience that many children in the suburbs get an opportunity to experience. And it is a great help. It's a character builder. It's a self-confidence builder. I wanted these kids to have it. I wanted my children to have it. When I say my children, I mean the area children, whether they be white, Black, or Latinx. And we have them all. But I needed it to be here. I did not want them to be bussed out to get this. I needed it to be here in their own community. So that's why I started it. Long story, I know, but that's why I started it. Now,
I think we had some more questions. How did Ebony Horsewoman get its name? You know what? That's a good question. Mrs. Kelly, you know, that's why I wore this pink shirt today.
Can I have a piece of chicken over here for this young man? What?
Listen, why did you name this Ebony Horsewoman?
Okay.
Because the question is,
all right.
And now you know, I'm a man. I'm a stallion. I gotta make that be known.
Okay.
Y'all call this Ebony Horsewoman, and I'm here. They think this only supposed to be women.
I know.
Well, you know, help us understand this a little bit better.
All right. So, plagiarism, maybe. There was an organization before the Ebony Horsewomen called the Ebony Horsemen, and they had been around since I think the late 50s, early 60s. And by the time we got started, they were phasing out. And the man that I approached when I came back from the Marine Corps to start riding again, his name was Eddie Merritt, Eddie Puddinhead Merritt. And he was a member of the Ebony Horsemen. He had 3 horses in Glastonbury. I wanted to ride. So my youngest daughter and I, Heather, went to his place in Glastonbury and we began to ride. And it was life-changing. It was life-changing. It was life-changing. And from there, I, called girlfriends and said, "Hey, you got to come and experience." And they were like, "I'm not going over there stinking horses. I just have to listen, get your butt over there. You will like this. You will like." And sure enough, they did. And so on Puddinhead's living room floor, I founded the Ebony Horsewomen. Ebony, well, here we are. We're Black. Women, that's our agenda. And so it was Ebony Horsewomen. So, and I know it can be a little confusing because we have a lot of guys in our organization and men. So I know it's confusing, and we've been asked, do you think you ought to change your name? And I have been refusing to do that because that's who we are. So I think the guys are okay with that. I mean,
I think we are.
You all right?
Yeah, because it's a woman's world. Y'all get y'all way. We here. Well, we understand.
Well, I think it's worked out for everybody. I mean, even for our children who are not Latinx or African American, they have no problems with it either. It is who we are. We started it. That's who we are.
Y'all gonna finish it clearly.
That's who we are.
But I think my take on that, on Ebony Horsewoman, I think it's a great name. Women nowadays in the world today, they are faced with so much adversity. They are faced with so much pain and so much strongness and so many things that a woman has to do in this world. A mother, y'all carry us for 9 months. Y'all got to stay in the house while the man parties and does all these things. Y'all got to cook. Y'all expected to clean. That's just the norms of this world. So us being called Ebony Horsewoman, it just shows us men that sometimes we just got to submit to a good woman. Sometimes we just got to close our mouths and submit.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. So Aliana is asking, how did you start riding horses? And tell us how you got your first horse. Wow. So like I said, it was a Jewish grocer that started me to ride. Now, I can't give all the credit to Mr. Fisher because I was 30-something when I learned that my dad had been a jockey, had a horrific accident.
Jockey?
Yep. And never rode again. Oh, it gets better than that.
Well, I'm sitting here waiting.
Never rode again, and really hated it when I started riding horses because he feared that I was going to, come to an accident like him. But Mr. Fisher started me off, and I think he awakened the sleeping giant of this passion of wanting to be with horses. And my first horse, the late Gordon Hayes, who was a trick rider in Suffield, Connecticut, Black man, raised horses, trained horses, and trained them to do tricks, sold me my first horse, Marshall Cody. He was a buckskin. He had to have been a pony size because he was about 14.3 hands, which is under. You could ride him with a halter, and he was magnificent. He was absolutely what I needed. And Heather, my oldest daughter, was into dancing with Artist Collective, so she wasn't dealing with horses at that point, although she did come in later. But Heather rode Marshall Cody for a long time until she got too big for him, and then I went to a Palomino Rising Star. So that's how we got started.
We had a question for Mr. Chaz. Y'all don't got no questions for me. Stop it. I've been how did you start or hear about EHI? Short and sweet. So I have always had a passion and a love for horses. Always.
All right, let's cut to the chase here. His daddy brought him. His daddy brought him.
You know what?
His daddy brought him. His father was a Hartford police officer.
Wait. This was my question.
Needed to do something with this little boy, and he drug him here, kicking and screaming, and said, "Here, this is yours. Do something with it."
And here I am. And that's how I ended up, pretty much, long story short. See, your mama always knows best. She shut me up before I opened my mouth.
So the next question is, what does the Junior Mileage Patrol do? Well, these young men are the park rangers for Keeney Park. And Chaz is their supervisor. Their commander is James Kelly, who's not here tonight. However, these young men come in and they train to read maps, to read trails, mark trails, provide hospitality for visitors in Keeney Park. They become horsemen before they actually go out on trails. They're in training a good 3 years before they're able to actually make the patrol unit.
And they don't like that.
But they become goodwill ambassadors for the park. This is 693 acres. And of course, they are also the eyes and the ears of the park because, you know, it is a lot of territory to cover. And the best way to cover it is on horseback. So they give public service to the city of Hartford, particularly this park.
And that's in a nutshell. And hearing from my side of it, these young men, they're from the urban area. They are from an area, and we are living in the days of technology. These kids nowadays have access to so many things, and nowadays kind of want to grow up a little faster. Here at EHI, we believe in the whole child. We believe in understanding their trauma, understanding their past, understanding their goals. Motivate these children, also teach them life skills, teach them manhood, teach them financial things that they need to learn that schools aren't teaching. But you know what,
I think even more importantly, and I think about this all the time, I've seen how difficult times snatch childhood away from these children. They grow up too fast. They don't get a chance to really experience childhood. They don't get a chance to giggle and laugh and be silly. You know, they're traumatized by conditions. And so what we do when Chad says, when we talk about the whole child, we're looking at all of that, not only their emotional and mental status, but the physical. So we have gardens here. We have gardens here, and we're teaching them how to eat healthy. And in the process of growing food and then cooking food. So we look at the entire person, and that's what we want to support. And the academics, let me not forget the academics.
That's right.
We're very strict on that. You have to go to school, and we have a program manager that tracks them like any detective would in any mystery. This young lady knows when they're in school, when they're not in school, and if you don't come to school, you can't ride. And they really want to ride, so they go to school. And if you don't do well, and we don't submit them to what we think their best is, they know what their best is, and we ask them to do their best. And so they do better in school. We have had a 100% graduation rate from high school since 2009. Correct. And at 82% graduation rate from college.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes.
That's something.
Yes.
That's something.
Yes.
That's something to hit that donate button. That's something to click the link and drop some funds right now, because we are still a nonprofit. That's something big. We are pushing education. You just heard it first from the CEO herself. We have a question about the dressage team. The dressage team. What is the dressage team, and what do they do?
Well, first of all, it's not only the dressage team, it's a leadership academy. So they learn leadership skills. They learn public speaking. They learn horsemanship skills. They learn animal science. They learn how to take care of small animals as well. And we help them to prepare a life plan for their career. What is it that you want to do? Not every child is slated to go to college, but every child has an opportunity to do other things to advance themselves. And that's what we look for. We help them to discover that in themselves, and we push it. Whatever it is that they want to, if they want to go out and be
you sure?
Well, if they want to be a mechanic, if they want to be, who cares? As long as that's what they want to do, we're going to help them achieve that. So it's.
You going to support me?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, I'm going to snatch you out of there. But we support the entire person, whatever it is that they want to do, and to make them know that we're here for them.
We're here for them.
Yeah.
We're here for them. The next question that we had, it was in relation to our equine therapy. What is our equine therapy programs? What is it that we're doing?
Well, so we're in a very difficult time, and we've been in difficult times even prior to COVID. I mean, have you ever felt sad? Have you ever felt depressed and you couldn't find why? you couldn't locate the beginning of this feeling of sadness, if you couldn't dig deep enough to really understand why you're feeling bad, we see that all the time. And we see it not only with the children, we see it with adults as well. We've suffered some trauma. It has gotten deep into us and we cannot get it out. Many of us don't do well with talk therapy, particularly those of us that are African American and Latino. Our culture basically says what happens in the family stays in the family. So talk therapy is not something that is embraced. With equine-assisted therapy, you don't have to talk. These magnificent animals begin to unlock the doors that hold back the information as to what the trauma really is. And to tell you the truth, folks, therapy is never a therapist telling you what your issues are. It's you finding what those issues are. And then therapists help to give you tools to relieve that stress and that trauma. And that's what equine therapy does. These magnificent horses are prey animals. They have a social structure like ours. They have a herd, we have a family, so they understand that kind of dynamic. But what's more important is that they understand without language our issues. They understand when we present with anger and chaos and disappointment and depression, they're like biofeedback machines that can tell the therapist when we're not safe, when our issues are so bad that we're not safe. And if we're not safe to be in a herd with him, then we're probably not safe to be in our own herd. So these magnificent animals begin to break down the walls of resistance to find what your issues really are. And it's not a zap theory. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to work through that. But these animals that are non-judgmental, absolutely what those issues are.
You heard it first from the CEO herself, the writer, the creator here at EHI. I am a personal witness. Equine-assisted psychotherapy works. Nobody likes to sit in the office and just talk to a therapist.
Well, some people do, but those
they're not telling the truth.
Well,
they're not in the office telling the truth.
Well, when you can't do it,
when you can't
do it, equine psychotherapy works. So I suspect that is probably coming to the end of our program. And I want to thank you so much for joining us. We do apologize for all of the technology issues that we had this evening, but we hope that does not deter you from making a donation to the program,
right,
so that we can continue not only to feed these beautiful horses, but to continue our youth programs as well. Thank you so much and have a wonderful
Before they
meeting.
go, though, Mom, we got to let them know the link. We didn't tell them the link.
Tell them the link.
We didn't tell them the store. Listen, we know that there has been some technical difficulties tonight, but guess what? You guys have stuck through. You guys have stayed connected with us. Y'all have made some healthy drinks to help us through this. But tonight, I'm going to do that after. Tonight, the reason why we are here, the reason why we went through all of this stress the last week, 2 weeks, whatever, for this night, and it is to truly, what we're seeking is the revenue and the funds to tend to this herd, correct?
Well, not only the herd, but the children's programs as well.
And the children's programs, and is that, you're the boss around here. Is that really costly? Like, what?
Oh my God!
Can we just, the people may need to understand a little bit more, because we know this is COVID, this is tough time. People are a little tough on wanting to give out free money.
Yeah.
So I feel like in this moment, this is our opportunity to truly let these individuals know why we're asking, because you don't like to ask for money.
Well,
you don't like to ask for money.
So this is a situation that, yes, it's
it's
very expensive to keep horses, but we're not keeping horses just to keep horses. These horses support the children. This is what the kids come here for. These horses are matched up with children. And this is their emotional support. So we have to keep them healthy. There are vet bills. There's all kinds of supplements and food that they have to eat. So there's an equipment for the kids.
Small animals.
And ferrying, and that's blacksmithing. It's very expensive. So whatever it is that you can do to help, we thank you so much.
Yes, click the link, please, our LinkedIn tree. We thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight and just virtually being here with us, being a part, and even with the little switches that we've done. Yeah. We thank you.
Yes. Have a great evening, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.